Thanks for watching Capital City News. This week, Cindi Mansell, the City Recorder, explains the special circumstances around the 2019 general elections and the process to fill a vacated seat for District 5 left by current City Council member and Mayor-elect Erin Mendenhall. And our History Minute this week is about the long-time tradition of candy windows. Let's get started with our legislative update and look back.
At its November 19th meeting, the City Council discussed a draft ordinance with the aim of regulating e-scooters in the city, heard a briefing from the city's census coordinator about her efforts to increase outreach for the 2020 census, and they approved the second budget amendment of the fiscal year that included funding for expenses related to the mayoral transition. To learn more, visit slc.gov/council.
From the soaring ceilings that you can see here to advanced technology to improve systems for baggage handling and plane taxiing, Salt Lake City truly is building the nation's premier 21st century airport. Through everything that has been done in the new SLC, our teams have not simply focused on customer convenience. They have also prioritized traveler experience and enjoyment of this facility. This is done in part to ensure that this airport, wherever you are, is visually appealing and tells the unique story of who we are as Utahns. This, of course, means including art wherever we can in the new SLC. And one of those places, one of those unexpected places, is the restrooms, which will serve millions of travelers each year. Today, we are revealing 24 works of art by local and national artists, which will be installed throughout the new SLC. This is the type of attention to detail that travelers can expect to see when this airport opens in less than 1 year.
Preserving affordable housing is key. We can't build our way out of the housing crisis. The space behind us was actually going offline for affordability. What that means is that when affordable projects become affordable, they usually lock down through deed restrictions. But this building behind us was actually about to go off of their deed restriction, and it was about to go up on the public market, probably be sold to a for-profit developer who would actually turn around, evict the tenants, and then actually update the units and then sell them or rent them out at market rate. And so it was great that Wish Camper and others kind of came in to help save this space, keep it down as deed restricted, and then fixing up the units. So we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the amazing housing initiatives that the council and the mayor have set forward without funding our future. Again, that was a sales tax increase by the residents of Salt Lake City. So we want the residents to know, to be able to follow projects like this, they can go to our website for housing and neighborhood development, as well as the RDA's page, as well as funding our future Salt Lake City. They can keep track of different projects that are going on, different initiatives, and seeing exactly how funding our future funds are being spent and invested in our community.
The holiday season is upon us, and as you think about creative and unique gifts for loved ones, consider shopping small and shopping local. For every dollar spent locally, more than half comes right back to growing Salt Lake City's local tax base. Take part in building a thriving community, connect with neighborhood retailers, and help strengthen our local economy. Shop small, shop local. To learn more, visit localfirst.org. In the event the City Council has a vacancy in the middle of a term, just like this year, there are protocols in place to fill an open seat. Cindi Mansell, City Recorder, shares details.
So in the event of a City Council midterm vacancy, which could occur for reasons such as death, resignation, or relocation, a City Council member would typically submit a letter of resignation to the City Recorder and the City Council to formally announce the vacation of their position. After the announcement of a vacancy, the process that follows is determined by the number of years remaining in the term. If there's more than 2 years remaining in the term and timing makes it possible, then an interim appointment could be made and that position could be placed on an upcoming election ballot for a 2-year seat versus a 4-year seat. Otherwise, the City Council could accept applications and fill the position with a registered voter of Salt Lake City who meets the qualifications of office. The qualifications would be to be a registered voter in Salt Lake City, to be a resident of the council district being vacated for 12 consecutive months prior to the date of appointment, and to be mentally competent. For people interested in applying for the midterm vacancy, if the term is more than 2 years, then they would follow the normal election process. Otherwise, they would need to submit an application in person to the Office of the City Recorder, and the deadlines and time frame and process would all be defined in a public notice that's required to be given at least 2 weeks in advance of the day when the council would meet to fill that vacant position. State code defines that a city council vacancy must be filled within 30 days of the announcement of vacancy. There'd be a 2-week public notice, and then the council could request maybe provide some questions and request answers from the applicants. They must interview the applicants in a public meeting, and each applicant would get an interview, and they would make the decision in a public meeting, and that person would immediately be sworn in to fulfill the remainder of that term. In the event that a decision cannot be made, the council must make a decision from the list of applicants accepted. They would narrow down the applicants to 2 and vote on them in a public meeting. And if they cannot agree, that decision would be determined by lot in a public meeting. A lot could be a dice roll, a coin flip. It would just be whatever the council determined they would like it. For information, you can visit the City Recorder's webpage, SLCtv.com, under elections. And we always have a page listing midterm vacancy information, but if there's a specific vacancy, the deadlines and the time frame and the process and the public meeting where that vacancy would be filled would all be defined there.
And now it's time for History Minute.
Decorating storefront windows for the holidays is nothing new, and in Salt Lake the tradition goes back as far as we've had storefronts. Through the early 1900s, shops all over downtown got in on the holiday spirit and drew people to the area by elaborately decorating their windows. In the 1970s, ZCMI kicked off a new tradition that combined the window displays of the past with candy decorations. These candy windows became a mainstay of shopping downtown. This continued all the way up until 2012, when ZCMI, then Meyer & Frank, closed to make way for the City Creek development. When Macy's took the space over, they decided to continue the tradition of the candy windows, selecting 6 artists every year to create elaborate candy displays, drawing in visitors from all over the state.
Thanks for watching another episode of Capital City News. Join us next time to stay up to date on all the latest. For SLC TV, I'm Poonam Kumar.